here with a tip about overdrive. So when we plug in our guitar into a tube amp and we push the volume knob in our guitar all the way up, and then we push the gain knob in the amp to around 12 o'clock, even less, maybe of course if a bit more, what we're gonna have is an overdriven sound. So we're gonna overdrive the valves in the amp so that the sound becomes a little kind of dirty. And that's basically how overdrive is initially created, was initially created just by driving up, cranking up the tubes in a tube amp. And now when you have all those overdrive pedals and overdrive effects in multi-effects, basically what they try to do is to somehow emulate that effect that is achieved, that we get from a tube amp. Yeah, and then when we have distortion, is basically just a little bit different. So distortion is just a much more intense overdrive, much higher gain, much more aggressive. And maybe distortion is no longer that sound that you get out of like a cranked up tube amp, but it's just basically taking it to the next level, and making like a different sound really. So basically that's the difference between the two. So it's always good to know, to remember that distortion and overdrive are not quite the same things. If you maybe now going to buy a pedal or something, so it's good to have to know whether you want overdrive, which is just softer a bit, or distortion. So I'm gonna use today an overdrive pedal. It's called Ibanez Tube Screamer. It's quite a popular one, very common one among guitarists. And so on this pedal, like most of the overdrive pedals, I have three parameters, three knobs. I have the drive, it's called drive here, but it can also be called gain. It basically means how dirty the sound is gonna get, how much overdrive, the amount of overdrive I'm gonna have. There is the level, which is the level of the whole effect. And tone is like how bright or dark the sound of the pedal is. And regarding the level knob, it's very, very important to set the level correctly. So if you want to use the overdrive for soloing, you want to have the level quite high, let's say a bit higher than the clean sound. So the clean sound would always be your reference point, your clean sound. And then if you want to use the overdrive for soloing, you would love, most likely you would like to have the overdrive louder than the clean sound, because you want usually more volume in order for the solo to be heard. But if you're not just gonna use the overdrive for accompaniment parts, whether it's like arpeggios or strumming or maybe even power chords, you most likely want to have the sound, the overdrive, pretty much at the same volume as the clean sound. So let's try to set it now to so the overdriven sound matches the clean sound. So let's see now. Now I'll play clean. Push the overdrive. Yeah, it's pretty much there. It's pretty much there. So obviously the overdriven sound is gonna be a bit more intense than the clean sound. That's one thing. But when we talk about just pure volume, we want the volume to match. Okay. So sometimes it's easy to think the overdrive is louder because the sound is just more powerful, but it's actually sometimes not true. It's just an illusion. Yeah. So you just want to avoid a big jump in volume. Let's say now I'll now set the level to a bit higher, and you see what I'm talking about. So clean. Okay. So that's something we don't really want. Now I even see that the sound is I was gonna clip in the microphone. So I'm gonna set it back to. Okay, good. So that's one thing that you wanna do when you use your pedal. Now you wanna set the drive according to what you wanna play. That was quite a soft sound, so I had now the drive around 10 or 12 o'clock. So 10 or 11 o'clock. Now I'm gonna just push the drive up. If I push the drive up, the volume is gonna go up as well. So I'm gonna compensate that by turning down the level a little bit of the effect. Let's see. Yeah, Good, it's pretty much okay. So you see, like overdriven sound can also be used for just finger picking, yeah, like arpeggios. I mean, not finger picking. You only have to be really careful with how you play, because when you play multiple notes together, unlike when you play a solo, which is usually one note, the effect of the overdrive is gonna be a little more intense. So the notes are really gonna like blur in the space. So if I play softly, even with an intense overdrive, I can still get a sound that I can hear every note separately. Although the sound is quite intense here. If I play now very, very hard on the strings, I already hear this constant buzz, kind of like that's coming, this constant distortion that's coming out of the amp, which is also fine, but you have to just like know how to use the right touch to achieve what you want to hear. Yeah. So always make this kind of like dance between like listening to the sound and then like correcting from the amp or from the pedal according to what you want to have. Okay, that's very, very important. Yeah, and one other thing that is very important, that maybe your overdrive pedal is not gonna affect every amp the same. So it's good to set it every time when you get to the rehearsal space. Turn on the amp, first set the amp actually, and the gain in the amp. So maybe you want the amp to be clean and then the overdrive to come from the effect, and then turn on the overdrive pedal and make sure that it's set to your desired sound. And then maybe if you change an amp, you will have to reset your overdrive, because every amp is a bit different. So that's very important in general with effects. It's hard to really have one proper setting, unfortunately. Cool. Now let's say I want to play power chords. Maybe I want to take the drive all the way up. That's the most important. That's the most intense distortion that can be that I can get from this pedal. So that's not a distortion. Again, it's an overdrive pedal. Yeah. Now if I change if I switch the pickup and I take the sound to I decide to use the bridge pickup here, then the sound is gonna get much powerful. So it really affects the overdrive pedal. The sound in the guitar is really gonna affect the overdrive as well. So see, now I'm playing with. And if I take it now to the neck pickup, you can see I get a totally different effect from the pedal. Yeah. So maybe this sound is way too dark and it's not gonna cut through the mix the way we want. So it's very important to also use the pickup switch wisely when you play with the overdrive effect. Yeah. Now if I want to like play some more like rhythm guitar parts, let's say I want to play. It works really well with those type of parts. Let's say even like a light strumming. Yeah. If I strum quite lightly, I can then add some overdrive to it. Maybe not take the drive all the way up, but just take it like to around, again, 11 o'clock in the knob, and see what it's gonna get. Now I'm gonna push the effect. So it's just a much more saturated and warm sound, yeah? Also, if I just play arpeggios, so you can hear the distortion rather than the clean sound. So let's say maybe I want to play in the verse. Let's say I play arpeggios in the verse. I'm clean, yeah. And then when the chorus comes, we want some more excitement, basically, yeah. Maybe also the drummer is gonna change his part. Is gonna change to the right, and I just want to be with the band, with basically like react to the flow of the song, yeah? So now in the chorus we usually want some more power, some more excitement. So maybe there I will push the overdrive pedal. So let's say now now that's the end of the verse. And now I push the pedal, and so you see there's just more excitement in the sound when I use the overdrive this way. So it's good. Basically what I want to basically the point I want to say here is basically that you can use the overdrive not only for power chords or for soloing. You can use it there is lots of different shades of overdrive that you can use for really different kinds of parts. You can even just use just a tiny bit of drive to get your sound a little bit more fat and warm, and that's it. Yeah, so now the drive is set almost to 0, and now that's my clean sound. And now with the overdrive, so there is really not much drive here, but it's a little bit more, it fattens up the sound. Yeah, or like, and with the overdrive, just a little bit of dirtiness there. Yeah, so I think like it's the cool thing with overdrive, and that's also like a little bit different than distortion. With overdrive we can really use the different shades of the amount of drive to get different purposes. So like just from just coloring and fattening up the sound to really get some more sustain and more warmth to the sound when you take the drive all the way up. Cool, so that was it. Yeah, again, you are always welcome to text me if you have questions. And yeah, see you in the next quarantine. Ciao.